Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am Gebo the Shaman, and today we are talking about what happens when we have Rahu placed in the first house in your birth chart. Alright, so this is a very hard placement and an important one, so before we get into all that good stuff, talking about Rahu in the first house, I'd just like to let you guys know that I am a Vedic astrologer. I do Vedic astrology readings professionally, and so you can check out everything that I have to offer right here. You can go learn more about that down at gebotheshaman.com. Alright, so I have my astrology courses where people basically sign up for that. They take a test, a simple test, and get certified as a Vedic astrologer, and yeah, you can get your own website from me when you pass that test, and so it's a good deal. And then the other thing is that it basically walks you through a whole everything that you need to know to become a Vedic astrologer, and it's like how I do my readings and stuff like that, so it's very, very good. Alright, so Rahu in the first house. So in order to basically understand what Rahu means, Rahu in the first house means, we need to understand what Rahu means. And then we'll talk about what the first house means. So Rahu is the planet of deception, obsession, addiction. It is the planet of unfulfilled desires. And Rahu's placement in your chart is to fulfill the desires of the house that he's placed in, and the sign that he's placed in. So yeah, it's a pretty cool and interesting placement here. I mean, there's just so much to learn about every placement that Rahu is in, because he is the planet of illusions and trickster, being a trickster. So anyway, so Rahu is like he is our unfulfilled desires, like the things that we need in life or want, like our obsessions, our addictions. For codependence, this can be addictions to other people. For other people, it could be addictions to alcohol, drugs, sex, gambling, other addictions. It can vary for everybody. So yeah, it's has a lot to do with those things, but also let's see what else. So deception. So Rahu will trick you into basically following your attachments. Rahu represents our attachments, and that can be attachments to relationships. It can be attachments to certain outcomes, to certain things. A lot of people think that if they don't become wealthy, they're never going to be happy. So they think that wealth equals happiness. And from lived experience, that's not true. I know that's not true. So there's only, anyway, that's a whole other topic. So Rahu is the deceiver, is addictions, is compulsions, is it's unfulfilled desires. So it's basically, I'll tell you the representation of Rahu. So Rahu is a head without a body. So it's a severed head. It wants to eat, it wants to consume, it wants to feel full, it wants to feel nourished, it wants to feel complete. However, whenever it eats, the food just falls out of its neck, so there's no sense of satiation, like fullness, of completeness, wholeness. So it's lacking that. So it really wants to grab onto whatever house it's placed in. It wants to go into that illusion and delusion. So yeah, that's the major challenge with Rahu. So what is the first house? The first house is ourselves, our personality, our outlook on the world, the lens through which we see the world. It is our personality, it is our mindset, our thoughts, beliefs, feelings, things like that. So it's a lot of who we are. Because why? Why is the first house or ascendant the way we are? Because this is how the energies of the cosmos got grounded into your body. They also, in Vedic astrology, call this the Lagna. The first house is the Lagna, or the ascendant. Why? Because the word Lagna kind of sounds like leg nut, and it's basically the same thing. And this means that this is how the energies of the universe got screwed into your body, mounted into your body, and formed your psyche, formed your identity, formed everything about you. The moment that you take that first breath of life, that's when those energies infuse into your body. Alright, so there's some Vedic stuff for you. So Rahu in the first house. This one is an extremely difficult position to have. And before I say anything that could upset you or make you think that this is, doom and gloom, I just want you to know that any negative planetary position that is in your chart, any negative aspect, anything negative at all, it is all there for your benefit. It is there to give you a challenge and give you a lesson. It is there to teach you something. You are not a victim. There is plenty of things that you can do to overcome this position or any negative position in your chart. So it is very important that you understand that. And, this can be very hard. So just know that whatever challenges you are going through, like you don't have to live in that state of hopelessness, okay? That's very important. There are things that can be done. There are remedies. There are planets that you can work with, deities, spiritual practices. There's a plethora of things that you can do about this. All right? So, Rahu in the first house tends to give somebody personality disorders. Because why? Because Rahu is this smokescreen. And being in the ascendant, you'll see things through that smokescreen, and you'll perceive the world as being a certain way, but everyone around you is perceiving it as being a different way. And that's because you have a smokescreen in front of your face and you can't see things clearly. Now, I understand that, things, you have the right to have your own perspective about things. However, it is beneficial to try to understand other people's perspectives on things. You have the right to have your own perspective and opinion. However, your opinion is not the only one, and it's not the only correct one. So, it is important to actually see the complexity of things and not see black and white. To see the nuance. Now, being that Rahu is in your first house, you might have a strong disposition to addiction. You might have what they call an addictive personality. You might, do things for hours and hours, like video games video games or something like that. You might do that for hours and hours and neglect, the rest of your life, the rest of your day. And it can be an addiction. So you can have a very addictive personality with this position. That means stay away from alcohol, drugs. Be careful, with food addiction, sex addiction, things like that. Those are all very serious things. And so with this position, it's very difficult. This kind of reminds me of Jeffrey Dahmer. I mean, in a way, I'm not saying that any of you are going to turn into that type of person. However, when I see what Rahu is aspecting the 7th house, I see people, I see you wanting to connect with people, but it's just not happening. People have an aversion to you because of the way that you see things, the way that you, because of this personality disorder, or this, even if it's not a personality disorder, just you can be kind of narcissistic, and you can be self-absorbed and self-obsessed, so it's very difficult for people to want to be around you or get or get along with you, because, well, you have K2 in your 7th house, and that's a discussion for another video. So yeah, you know, it's a very difficult thing. However, it's a good thing that the kind of challenge that Rahu wants to give you is to achieve psychological maturity. He wants you to see past the illusions and the attachments and things like that. And he wants you to see things for what they are, instead of being gullible and going along with, you know, whatever. He just wants you to see things how they are, basically, instead of being delusional or having a totally different, totally unrealistic expectation of reality. So that is Rahu in the 1st house. So let me see how I am on time, guys. Alright, so yeah, we're good. We're well over time. Alright, so so you can hear my dog barking in the background. That's just something we're going to have to deal with. It's something that I deal with, and, you know, whatever. So anyway, so that's all I really have to say for Rahu in the 1st house. The remedy for Rahu in the 1st house is mantra and ritual and 12 steps. The 12 steps. So the 12 steps are not easy by far. Let me just tell you that. The fastest way to achieve psychological maturity is through the 12 steps. So I would encourage you to, you know, if you are looking to codependence and look into just working the 12 steps, any 12-step program. And then there is mantra, there is ritual. So for a ritual, you're going to need to get a Vedic astrology reading from me, so I can tell you what your ritual is. It's based on your specific chart. Okay? However, the mantra, let me just see here. Give me a second to pull that up, and okay, so the mantra for Rahu is to Shukra or Varaha, and that is Ong Bur Namo Bhagavate Varahaya. So Ong Bur Namo Bhagavate Varahaya. Alright, so yeah, that's the mantra for Rahu. And if you do that 108 times every day, you should buy a 108 bead mala and do it every day for 40 days. Alright, so that's it for me, guys. So if you are interested in taking my astrology course, here it is up here, the Vedic Astrology Certification course. That is designed to take you through step A through step Z of how to give an astrology reading and how to do that properly. There's an instruction manual, there's a astrology reading template, and an astrology reading guide to help you basically learn how to give a reading. Okay, so so once you pass that test, I'll give you basically a certification exam, and once you pass that, you will get a basically your own free website. So I'll give you your own free website, and you can start making money as a Vedic astrologer. And not only that, but I will promote you on the channel and get your name out there to some people, and hopefully you'll get some astrology readings, so you can make that a full-time business, you can make that a part-time business, and so yeah, it's an awesome opportunity. So you can take that as far as you like. Alright, and yeah, so that's about it. And then we have the astrology reading. So I have my standard reading that I do for everybody, as well as my reading where I focus on your career and your relationships and things like that. And then I have my birth time rectification service as well. So the birth time rectification is great. It's intended for people who don't have an accurate birth time. You might have a span of like 30 minutes or an hour or something like that, and that's great. However, that's not accurate. So it's important to have an accurate birth time, so that way when you go to astrologers for predictions and things like that and readings, they can actually give you a very accurate and precise reading that's dependent on your birth time. So I would highly encourage you all to, if you don't know your exact minute of birth, get a Vedic birth time rectification. Then we have the Qigong courses. So we have the Cosmic Qigong and the Self-Transformation Challenge. And so those courses are great for beginners, and they're really transformational. There's a lot that I could say about them, that like they've changed my life. They've changed my perspectives on life. I used to be very depressed and very negative thinking, and just felt crappy about myself and things like that. So and then I started doing these practices, both of these, and they changed my life. I mean, they brought some empowering energy into my body and helped me to feel more empowered. So it's pretty awesome, the things that they can do. Alright guys, so I guess that does it for me for today. So we have, what else do we have? The distance energy healing. So that's, people think that's about, that's for like, people who need like physical healing. However, if you need psychological healing, if you need spiritual healing, if you need like emotional, psychological, mental, stuff like that. That is a great way to heal yourself. It's got a guided meditation in there, and you just follow that meditation and you will begin healing yourself, as well as that there contains a when you purchase the distance energy healing, you'll get a 1 hour session with me. So 1 hour healing session, and I do that for like on a distance level, so like you don't need to be on a call with me. I do it, separately, so yeah. Anyway, then we have the career coaching and the life coaching. So if you are interested in discovering your soul path in this life, your soul mission, then I would highly encourage you to get a career coaching or life coaching session from me. Basically, I walk you through the process of how I basically get my, like, how I like, my brain is dead today, guys. So the career coaching and life coaching is how I discover my purpose in life, how I discover my spiritual path. And through doing what I love for a career, I can, I can have the life that I want and not have to sacrifice anything for it. A lot of people are working jobs that they don't like and things like that, so it's just really, really good to figure out what you want to do, so that way you can do that and not have to, worry about what you're gonna do, or like feel hopeless without a purpose or anything like that. So anyway, guys, I have talked long enough, so I will talk to you later. If you haven't already, subscribe to my channel, like the video. It helps in the algorithms and things like that. So anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I'll talk to you later. Peace.